The council chamber was silent, the kind of silence that felt heavy enough to crush anyone who dared speak. Representatives from hundreds of star systems had gathered on the neutral station, floating quietly in the dark void between two rival sectors. The walls of the chamber glimmered with faint lights that reflected off their polished suits and armor, giving the space an eerie calm. 4 hours, they had debated, argued, and threatened, all under the guise of diplomacy. But no one truly believed peace was possible. Ambassador Terrell of the Zirconian Empire tapped his clawed fingers on the crystalline table, his eyes narrow and calculating. "You speak of compromise, yet your actions suggest you intend to dominate," he said, his voice sharp as broken glass. Across the table, Admiral Varen of the Solari Council frowned, her blue-hued skin rippling with tension. "Our fleets are defensive. We seek only to prevent further bloodshed. You threaten war even as you speak of peace." Outside the chamber, the vast observation windows showed the black emptiness of space, dotted with distant suns and wandering ships. A hum of activity vibrated through the station as security patrols scanned the perimeter. Everyone knew that in this region of the galaxy, a mistake could end entire civilizations. And yet, no one could predict what was coming next. Suddenly, the low murmur of discussion was interrupted by an urgent chime. The chamber's holographic screens flickered to life. A uniformed officer appeared, his face pale. "Council members, unidentified vessel entering orbit. It is moving at sublight speed but accelerating strangely. Sensors cannot identify the class or origin." A tense silence fell over the room. Many species had seen countless ships in their lifetimes, but this was different. The vessel was massive, far larger than any known warship in the sector. Its hull reflected no light, it seemed almost invisible, yet the sensors insisted it was there. Its shape was vaguely human, angular and precise, unlike the organic curves of Solari or Zirconian design. Admiral Varen rose from her seat, her hand resting on the hilt of her plasma saber. "Prepare defensive protocols. We do not know its intentions. Alert the Council, this may be a violation of the armistice." The screens suddenly zoomed in, revealing the ship in all its terrifying detail. Its surface was black as obsidian, studded with strange geometric patterns that seemed to shift as the observers watched. No lights, no markings, no signs of life. Yet the sheer size and design radiated an unmistakable sense of deadly purpose. Terrell hissed through his teeth. "That is no ordinary ship. Could it be a weapon from the old wars?" "No," Varen said quietly, but her voice carried a weight that made everyone stop. "That is human." The word hung in the air. Humans had vanished from galactic records centuries ago. Their colonies were considered myths, their fleets gone without a trace. Legends spoke of their ships as unstoppable, and their technology as beyond comprehension. No one had expected to see one again, especially here, in the middle of a delicate peace negotiation. The massive warship slowed, aligning itself with the station's orbit. Its presence alone caused minor gravitational disturbances, forcing the station's artificial gravity to compensate. On board the station, panic spread. Guards whispered, diplomats stifled gasps, and the council members' faces turned pale. Varen signaled to the station commander. "Open hailing channels. Attempt communication, but keep weapons locked." A tense minute passed, then another. Static filled the communication lines, broken only by a deep, mechanical hum. Finally, a voice came through, monotone but undeniably human. "Council members. All negotiations are over. Stand down, or be destroyed." The words sent a ripple of shock through the room. Terrell slammed his claws on the table. "What madness is this? Who dares speak for humanity?" Varen's eyes narrowed. "It does not matter. What matters is this. The humans are back. And they mean business." Outside, the warship hovered, silent and imposing. Drones launched from hidden bays, scanning the station with precise and terrifying efficiency. Security forces scrambled, but no weapon seemed able to harm it. Every attempt to approach was met with an invisible force, repelling ships before they could fire. The council realized that the myths were true. Human ships were deadly, unmatched, and utterly terrifying. In the observation deck, a young translator whispered to her colleague, trembling. They didn't just arrive. They came to decide. And they came to win. As the council debated desperately, trying to salvage diplomacy, the humans waited in orbit. Their warship emitted no sound, no threat beyond its sheer presence. Yet every species in the chamber could feel the silent warning. This was not a negotiation. This was a declaration. The peace talks that had taken months to arrange were over in minutes. And no one in that chamber would ever forget the day humanity returned to the stars, not with words, but with power that could erase entire fleets with a single command. The galaxy had expected a show of diplomacy. It got something far worse, an unstoppable force, calm, precise, and entirely human. And with that, the council realized the fragile balance of power had shattered. Humanity's warship did not negotiate. It decided. The council chamber was in chaos. Delegates shouted over each other, alarms blared, and security forces scrambled to take positions. But outside, the human warship did not move. It simply hovered in the station's orbit, as if waiting, calculating, and watching. Its size alone dwarfed the station, and its presence made everyone feel smaller, insignificant, and fragile. Admiral Varen stood at the center of the chamber, her hands clenched. "We cannot fight it. Not with what we have," she said, her voice steady despite the panic around her. "Even our largest fleet would be torn apart in minutes. We must find another way, reason or deception, before it decides to act." Terrell, the Zirconian ambassador, hissed. "Reason? Do you not understand? Humans do not negotiate. They do not compromise. They only enforce their will. We are sitting in a cage, and it is about to close." The words sank into the minds of everyone present. For centuries, humans had been a legend. Now they were real, and far worse than anyone could have imagined. The warship sensors, cloaked and advanced, scanned the station. Every weapon, every ship, every diplomat was catalogued in an instant. It was as if the humans could see not just the present but the possible outcomes of every action. In the observation room, young analysts stared at the live feeds from outside. They whispered in disbelief as they saw how easily the human ship repelled probes and drones. Even experimental Solari weapons fizzled and fizzed, unable to breach its hull. Its black surface reflected nothing, absorbing energy like a void. Then, the unexpected happened. A small shuttle detached from the human warship, moving slowly toward the station. It was tiny compared to the massive ship it came from, but it carried an aura of authority that made even the bravest council members step back. On board the shuttle, a single figure could be seen. Clad in a uniform unlike any other in the galaxy, the human moved with calm precision. Their posture exuded confidence, but their eyes, sharp and calculating, seemed to pierce through the screens into the hearts of those watching. The shuttle docked with the station smoothly, almost gracefully, ignoring the frantic warnings from security. Doors hissed open, and the figure stepped into the chamber. Silence fell immediately. Every representative froze, every hand paused, every weapon remained holstered. The human spoke, their voice amplified but calm. "I am Commander Harlan. Humanity no longer hides. We have observed your conflicts, your petty alliances, and your threats. Enough." Murmurs rippled through the council. Some species had never heard a human voice, and now it carried the weight of finality. Others knew the old stories, of entire fleets lost to human warships, and their hearts sank. Terrell tried to speak, but his voice faltered. You are a myth. Humanity was destroyed, vanished." Harlan's gaze did not waver. "Destroyed? Perhaps in your records. Lost? Maybe in your minds. But we endured. We adapted. And we returned to claim what is ours, not as conquerors, but as judges." A tense pause followed. Every diplomat realized that this was not diplomacy. This was an ultimatum. Every word from Harlan was carefully chosen, precise, and weighted with consequences. Admiral Varen swallowed hard. What do you want? Speak quickly. We must act before. She trailed off, realizing that the human had already anticipated her words. Harlan smiled faintly, but it was not friendly. We want peace. True peace. Not the kind you arrange with treaties that crumble in hours. True peace requires balance, obedience, and understanding that those who threaten others cannot be allowed to remain armed. You have had your chance to decide your path. The galaxy will now follow ours. Every member of the council understood the meaning. The humans were not bluffing. Their fleets, their technology, and their tactics were beyond anything in the galaxy. Resistance was not an option. Survival meant compliance. Outside the windows, the human warship remained silent, a black monolith in orbit. Its mere presence caused tension in every system connected to the station. Ships trembled in their docking bays, weapons quivered in their mounts, and the air itself seemed charged with an invisible power. The council tried to regroup. Secret communications were sent to fleets, hoping to gather strength. But the humans were always one step ahead. Every channel was jammed, every move anticipated. Panic grew, but no one dared act rashly. In a quiet corner, a young translator whispered to a colleague, her voice shaking. Do you think they can destroy everything here if they want? Her colleague nodded, eyes wide. I think they already know exactly what to do. And if they choose to. He didn't finish. They both knew the truth. The humans were unstoppable. Commander Harlan stepped forward, scanning the room. His presence was calm, but every nerve in the council felt the weight of a storm that had arrived without warning. Your time for words is over, he said. Decide now. Accept the terms of true peace, or face the consequences of your choices. And with that, the chamber fell silent once more. But this silence was different from before. It was not the calm before discussion. It was the calm before judgment. Outside, the warship waited. Humans had returned to the galaxy. And now, no one could ignore them. The chamber remained frozen in silence. Every council member stared at Commander Harlan, unable to look away. His calm presence filled the room, yet his words lingered like a warning echoing across the void. Outside, the massive human warship hovered, a black shadow against the stars, silent but imposing. Admiral Varen swallowed hard. You speak of peace, yet your arrival, your size, your power, suggests war. Harlan's eyes met hers, steady and unyielding. War? No. We do not seek war. We seek order. The galaxy has had centuries of chaos. It ends now. Those who obey will survive. Those who resist will be removed. Terrell's claws tapped nervously on the crystalline table. You speak as though we have no choice. We are sovereign nations. Your presence alone violates all treaties. Harlan took a single step forward, the echo of his boots amplifying the tension in the chamber. Treaties? You mean agreements made to protect yourselves from each other while disregarding innocent worlds? We do not recognize them. Humans survived when others failed because we act decisively. We act for the galaxy, not for politics. Whispers ran through the chamber. Some species remembered the stories of human fleets vaporizing enemy armadas. Others only knew legends of ships that could manipulate energy in ways no one else could. Now, it was real, and no one could deny it. Admiral Varen tried again. If your goal is peace, then prove it. Show us your intentions. Let words suffice before actions. Harlan nodded, as if expecting the request. Words are no longer enough. You need proof. You need understanding. Observe. Outside, the station shuddered. Distant alarms screamed as the human warship deployed a swarm of small drones, each smaller than a shuttle but fast, precise, and coordinated. They zipped around the station, scanning, calculating, analyzing. No one fired, no one dared. The drones moved as one, an unstoppable storm of technology, yet without a hint of aggression. Then, The humans demonstrated something the Council could not have anticipated. The warship extended long, slender arms from hidden bays. Energy beams, controlled with exact precision, captured a malfunctioning asteroid nearby. With careful movements, the asteroid was lifted, its trajectory changed, and it was sent harmlessly spinning into deep space. Gasps echoed through the observation deck. The Council saw not only raw power but control, intelligence, and discipline unlike anything in the galaxy. The humans had not destroyed, they had demonstrated mastery. Every species realized that, if these humans wanted, nothing in the system could resist them. Terrell's voice was trembling. This is impossible. How can a single ship do all this? Harlan's gaze swept the room. A single ship? This is not a single ship. This is the beginning of what humanity can do. We have thousands more, hidden, waiting, prepared. We survived when your civilizations were busy fighting each other. And now we return, not to conquer, but to correct mistakes. Admiral Varen felt the weight of truth. Humanity had returned, and their warship alone could change the balance of power. Every diplomat in the chamber understood it. This was no threat, it was a certainty. Terrell, desperate, tried another approach. Perhaps, there is something we can offer? Trade, resources, allegiance. Surely that is preferable to confrontation. Harlan shook his head slowly. No bribes, no tribute, no deals. The galaxy must be united under order. Survival is simple: obey or step aside. You have had centuries to self-regulate. You failed. We act now. The chamber went silent again. The weight of inevitability pressed on everyone. No negotiation, no clever speech, no political maneuvering could save them from the reality outside. Humans had returned, and the galaxy would never be the same. In the observation deck, a young analyst whispered to her colleague, "Do you think they can really destroy everything if they want?" Her colleague did not answer. He only stared at the warship, the black monolith that seemed alive, calculating, and merciless in its precision. Suddenly, the station shuddered violently. Panic erupted as minor systems failed and lights flickered. The human drones had entered the outer defenses, scanning, disabling automated weapon turrets, and locking down critical systems with invisible efficiency. No alarms or warnings could escape their control. It was a silent takeover. Admiral Varen gritted her teeth. They are not asking for compliance. They are ensuring it. Commander Harlan's voice echoed through the chamber, calm and measured, yet filled with absolute authority. You will inform your fleets. You will obey. You will prevent chaos. The galaxy's survival depends on it. Humanity does not forgive mistakes. We only correct them. Terrell's claws twitched in frustration. We cannot. This is tyranny. Harlan's eyes locked onto him. Call it what you like. Call it order, call it survival. Either way, the choice is yours. The humans are back, and we do not negotiate with failure. Outside, the black warship waited patiently, silent and still, as if the galaxy itself were holding its breath. Every representative in the chamber understood the truth. The humans had returned to judge them, and the consequences of defiance were unthinkable. The peace talks had ended. Not with words, not with treaties, but with the quiet, unstoppable presence of a human warship in orbit. And the galaxy would never forget the day humans returned to claim their place among the stars. The station trembled again, though this time the sound came from within. Systems flickered, lights dimmed, and emergency sirens blared, sending waves of panic through the corridors. Council members clutched their chairs as security forces scrambled to assess the situation. But no one could ignore the truth. The humans were in control, and every move they made was deliberate. Commander Harlan's calm voice resonated through the chamber. We are not here to kill, yet we will not hesitate if provoked. Your fleets are scattered and unprepared. Any hostile act will be met with precision you cannot imagine. Admiral Varen's hands trembled as she studied the screens. Outside the station, Small ships attempted to approach the human warship, testing its defenses. In moments, invisible forces repelled them, sending them spinning harmlessly into empty space. Energy pulses swept past like waves, and yet, not a single human craft had fired. One of the younger delegates whispered to another, barely audible. "It's like they are everywhere at once. Like the ship itself is alive." Harlan stepped closer to the council table. His eyes swept across every face, measuring fear, hesitation, and pride. "You will comply. You will inform your fleets that the humans are back. And you will understand that resistance is not an option. Those who doubt will witness what happens to those who oppose us." A murmur ran through the chamber. Terrell's claws clicked against the table in anger. "And if we refuse? If we call our fleets to defend our sovereignty?" Harlan's lips curled into the faintest smile. "Then you will see the difference between legend and reality." Outside, the massive human warship shifted slightly. Docked shuttles launched, moving in perfect formation. From the shadows of hidden bays, energy weapons flared silently, targeting abandoned satellites and derelict ships. Each was destroyed or disabled with astonishing speed and precision. The Council watched in horror as the humans demonstrated absolute control over space itself. Admiral Varen realized the implications. They do not need to fight fleets to win. They control the battlefield before any weapon is fired. The station's security forces attempted to retaliate, sending automated drones and weaponized turrets toward the approaching shuttles. But the human drones moved too quickly, too intelligently. Shields were bypassed, weapons disabled, and within moments, the defensive systems were neutralized without a single human casualty. Panic spread through the council chamber like wildfire. Terrell tried to maintain composure. "We can't allow ourselves to be intimidated. We must act strategically." Harlan tilted his head, his eyes never leaving Terrell. "Strategic? You speak of strategy while your ships spin helplessly outside. You speak of diplomacy while your defenses crumble. Your tactics are meaningless. Humanity adapts. Humanity dominates. You have been warned." The Council scrambled to communicate with their fleets, sending urgent messages to muster reinforcements. But interference pulses from the human warship jammed every signal. No response came. Every fleet, every system, was blind. The humans had already taken the first decisive step without firing a single shot. In a quiet corner, a translator whispered to a colleague, "Do you realize what this means? They could destroy us all if they wanted." Her colleague nodded grimly. "Not could, would if needed. That is what scares everyone. Not that they are powerful but that they are precise. Every action is calculated." Commander Harlan addressed the chamber once more. "The galaxy has tolerated chaos for too long. Humans survived when others failed because we act without hesitation. You have been given the opportunity to comply. You have been warned. Do not mistake patience for weakness." A deafening silence followed. Every council member understood that the humans were not bluffing. Their demonstration had already proven that traditional defenses were useless. Any attempt at resistance would result in catastrophic loss. Admiral Varen looked at Terrell. "Do you understand now? This is not negotiation. This is a test. And we are failing." Terrell's claws clenched. "If we surrender, we preserve life, but our pride, our sovereignty." He trailed off, realizing that pride was irrelevant against a force beyond comprehension. The young translator's voice quivered. We have no choice. They are unstoppable. Even fleets with hundreds of ships could not survive a direct encounter." Harlan observed silently as the Council processed the reality. The humans had returned to the galaxy. Not as negotiators. Not as allies. But as enforcers. Their warship in orbit was more than a weapon. It was a statement. Outside, the black monolith hovered silently, perfectly still. Yet every eye on the station knew it could unleash destruction with pinpoint accuracy. The humans had not yet fired, but the threat was absolute. Every species on that station now understood the terrifying truth. Humanity had returned, and nothing in the galaxy could challenge them. Not yet, and perhaps not ever. The Council could only watch, helpless, as the first stage of humanity's quiet dominance unfolded. The peace talks were over, but the war had only just begun. The Council members gathered in the chamber, their faces pale, minds racing. Outside, the human warship remained a black sentinel, silent and unyielding. Every system on the station had felt its presence. Communications jammed, defensive systems disabled, and drones scanning every corner. The realization was clear: humanity was not here to negotiate. It was here to enforce. Admiral Varen paced the floor, her thoughts spinning. We can't fight them. Not with what we have. Every fleet outside the station is blind and powerless. Any hostile move will be annihilated before it begins. Terrell slammed his claws against the table. Then what do you propose? Submission. Do you not see what it means for our people? Our pride. Our sovereignty. Varen stopped pacing and looked at him sharply. I see what it means for survival. You can cling to pride while billions die, or you can act smart, adapt or perish. That is the choice humanity has given us. Harlan's voice echoed through the chamber, calm and commanding. Time is short. Those who fail to comply will face consequences. We do not destroy recklessly. We calculate. We eliminate threats. You have been warned. Terrell's eyes darted to the observation windows. He could see the human drones outside, swarming with precision. They moved like a single organism, coordinating effortlessly, neutralizing threats with flawless accuracy. The sight made even the bravest council members shiver. Suddenly, an alarm blared. One of the outer docking bays reported unauthorized activity. Fleet ships that had attempted to approach the station were now being intercepted, not destroyed, but disabled. Engines frozen, weapons offline, systems hijacked. Every move the fleets made was anticipated and countered without hesitation. Varen gritted her teeth. They don't just destroy. They control. Every action we take is already calculated by them. We are trapped. Terrell whispered to a nearby aide. We should evacuate, regroup, and plan retaliation. Perhaps other sectors can resist. The aide shook his head. There is no retreat. Communication is blocked. Our fleets are neutralized. If they want retaliation, it will come instantly, and none of us will survive. Harlan's voice cut through the fear. Council members, the choice is simple. Comply and preserve life. Resist and risk total destruction. Your fleets, your stations, your people, they are all visible to us. We see all. A young translator shivered as she turned to her colleague. Do you think they could really wipe out entire planets if they wanted? Her colleague swallowed hard. Yes. And it wouldn't even cost them a scratch. That's how precise, how advanced, they are. Varen's gaze hardened. Then we make a decision now. Our fleets are useless. Our defenses, disabled. Humanity has made the first move, and they control the battlefield. We cannot afford mistakes. We must negotiate, on their terms. Terrell's claws trembled with anger. Negotiating on their terms? That is surrender. Perhaps, Varen said quietly, but surrender ensures survival. Pride cannot shield us from extinction. Outside, the human warship shifted subtly. Its massive form turned slightly, sending a silent message to the Council. Compliance is expected, resistance is calculated. Drones hovered around the station like predators circling prey, scanning, analyzing, controlling. No one dared move without permission. Harlan's figure appeared once more in the chamber. Prepare your communications. Inform all fleets. Obedience is not optional. Humanity has returned to the galaxy. Those who resist will be removed efficiently. Do not test us. The council members exchanged fearful glances. The decision was clear, though it was bitter. They could argue, they could debate, but the humans had already proven the futility of resistance. Every system outside the station lay within the human ship's reach, and every possible action had already been anticipated. Terrell's voice was tight. If we comply, we live. If we resist, he could not finish. Everyone in the room understood the sentence's deadly ending. Varen nodded slowly. We comply. But we record every action. We watch. We remember. Humanity's return does not erase history, but it changes the future. The young translator whispered again, voice trembling. It feels unreal. Like a nightmare. The humans, they aren't just powerful. They are inevitable. Harlan's calm voice filled the chamber. Inevitable is correct. Humanity survived when others failed. Humanity acts decisively when others hesitate. Understand this well. The galaxy will follow or fall. Your choice is simple. The council members finally activated the communication systems, sending messages of compliance to every fleet under their control. Even as they did, tension filled the air. Pride had been sacrificed, but life remained. The human warship in orbit remained quiet, a black shadow of judgment and control. Outside, the drones continued their silent surveillance, and the warship waited. Humanity had returned, and with it, the galaxy had learned that no negotiation could match the force of their precision, their discipline, and their power. The first stage of dominance had begun, and the Council, and the galaxy, understood that nothing would ever be the same. For the first time in centuries, every species understood a simple, terrifying truth. Humanity was back, and no one could challenge them. The Council had barely finished sending messages of compliance when chaos erupted across the system. Communications from fleets were scrambled, weapons offline, and small skirmishes broke out, not by human attack, but because every move was anticipated and countered before it even began. The humans were not just present, they were controlling the battlefield without firing a single shot. Admiral Varen stood at the observation deck, watching with growing unease. They're orchestrating everything, she whispered. Every fleet movement, every weapon, every defensive measure. It's like they're inside the systems themselves. Terrell's claws tapped nervously against the console. How can one ship, one commander, do all this? This is impossible. Entire fleets neutralized without firing? Systems overridden? This is beyond any technology known to us. Varen did not answer. She could only watch as human drones slipped through every sector, invisible yet precise. Each drone scanned ships, mapped weapon systems, and disabled them subtly, leaving vessels intact but powerless. Not a single human casualty had occurred. Not a single strike had been fired. And yet, fleets surrendered immediately upon human instruction. A young translator spoke up, voice shaking. It's like they can see the future. Every step we try to take, every maneuver, they know. Varen nodded grimly. They don't see the future. They calculate it. Faster than any computer, smarter than any strategist. That is why resistance is pointless. Commander Harlan appeared again in the chamber, calm and measured. Your fleets will follow our guidance. Any deviation is unacceptable. Observe carefully, resistance is costly, compliance is life. You have been warned. Outside, the warship deployed its drones further. Entire fleets that had been on the verge of attacking the station suddenly froze, their systems hijacked by invisible human control. Weapons shut down mid-fire, engines locked, shields flickered and went offline. Confused and panicked crews tried to fight back, only to realize their efforts were anticipated and countered instantly. Terrell's voice trembled. This is more than dominance. This is control. They are everywhere at once. Varen leaned over the observation panel. Not everywhere. Just precise. One ship, one commander, controlling thousands of points simultaneously. They are teaching a lesson. They are demonstrating what humans can do without even firing a weapon. The council watched in stunned silence as one fleet attempted a maneuver to break free. Human drones intercepted it, guiding ships harmlessly away from the station while keeping them in check. It was a display of power that went beyond fear. It was awe-inspiring. Harlan's voice echoed calmly, yet carried absolute authority. The galaxy has tolerated chaos for too long. You see now the cost of hesitation. Humans act decisively. We survive, we endure, and we ensure order. Compliance guarantees survival. Defiance guarantees destruction. In the observation room, an analyst whispered to a colleague, unable to hide her fear. Do you see that? Not a single human weapon fired, yet every fleet obeys. That's terrifying. Her colleague swallowed hard. It's more than terrifying. It's absolute. They don't just dominate, they control reality as it unfolds. Every possibility, every failure, they prevent it before it happens. Outside, the massive warship rotated slightly, and drones adjusted positions like chess pieces on an enormous board. Every fleet, every ship, every weapon was accounted for. Humanity's presence was no longer a threat, it was a guarantee. Admiral Varen turned to the council, her face grim. We have witnessed the first stage. The humans don't just fight, they enforce order, manipulate events, and control outcomes. The galaxy has no defenses against this. Our fleets, our weapons, they are useless. Terrell clenched his claws, his pride crushed. So what choice do we have? Obedience. Total surrender. Varen's voice was steady. Obedience ensures life. Pride ensures extinction. Humanity is back. They do not ask, they decide. And now, the galaxy will follow their path or fall. A low hum filled the observation deck, vibrating through the station. The human warship, still silent, was sending a subtle warning through its presence alone. Every species aboard felt it. The humans were patient, precise, and deliberate. Their power did not need aggression, it was enforced by knowledge, speed, and intelligence that no one could match. Harlan's calm voice concluded the demonstration. Understand this clearly. We have returned not to negotiate, not to bargain. The galaxy will comply. Humanity survives. Humanity enforces. Those who follow will continue. Those who resist will be removed efficiently. The council understood. Every fleet outside the station, every system under their control, was now subject to human command. Survival depended on obedience, and humanity had just proven that even fleets numbering in the hundreds, could be neutralized with perfect precision, without a single shot fired. Varen's voice, low and almost a whisper, carried the weight of realization. The humans, they are not just back. They are inevitable. And outside, the black warship waited. Silent, patient, unstoppable. The council chamber was tense, almost suffocating. Every member understood what had been shown over the past hours. Fleets controlled, defenses disabled, entire systems neutralized without a single human casualty. Humanity was not just back, it was absolute, precise, and inevitable. Commander Harlan stood calmly at the center of the room. The galaxy has witnessed our patience. We have demonstrated power, precision, and control. Now it is time for the final stage, compliance. Admiral Varen's hands trembled. You intend to take command of fleets across the galaxy? Harlan's eyes were unwavering. We do not take command. We ensure order. Every fleet, every system, every armed force will follow instructions that prevent chaos. Humanity survived because we acted decisively. Now, the galaxy must act decisively too. Compliance ensures survival. Defiance guarantees destruction. Outside, the human warship shifted slightly, black as night, vast as a moon. Drones spread outward in every direction, silent and coordinated. Systems that had once been independent now obeyed instructions sent through channels no one could block. Communications, navigation, and weapons were under subtle human control. It was a demonstration of dominance the galaxy had never witnessed, and it was almost beautiful in its precision. Terrell's claws drummed nervously on the crystalline table. This is unimaginable. One ship, one commander, controlling fleets, stations, and satellites. This is the end of our autonomy. Varen placed a hand on his arm, her voice steady. Autonomy is meaningless if it leads to destruction. Humanity's return is a lesson. Precision, calculation, and discipline outweigh pride and chaos. The galaxy cannot survive otherwise. Harlan's tone was calm but absolute. All fleets under this council's influence are to comply immediately. Any deviation will be corrected without hesitation. Observe the consequences of resistance, then decide wisely. Across the observation decks, council members watched as fleets that had resisted simply froze, their systems overridden. Ships that had fired at each other moments ago now floated silently, powerless. Not a single human ship fired a shot, yet the threat of destruction was absolute. A young translator whispered to a colleague, barely audible, "Do you see it? They haven't even fired, and yet, entire fleets are paralyzed." Her colleague nodded, eyes wide. They are not just powerful. They are inevitable. Every action we could take is already countered before it happens. Varen's gaze swept the room. This is humanity's message. Power alone is not enough. Precision, strategy, and foresight are what make survival possible. They are teaching us the cost of hesitation and chaos. Harlan stepped closer to the central console. Your fleets will follow instructions. You will inform your people. Order will be maintained. Those who comply survive. Those who resist will cease to exist. Terrell's claws flexed in frustration, pride clashing with survival. So we bow. Accept this dominance. Varen shook her head slightly. Not bowing. Learning. Humanity has returned. They do not negotiate. They enforce. Our survival depends on adapting, understanding, and following the rules they have set. Pride will not protect anyone. Outside, the human warship rotated slowly, its drones now patrolling distant sectors. Each movement was calculated, deliberate, silent, and terrifying. Every system connected to the station knew the warship was watching. Every fleet under human observation followed its guidance, obeying not out of fear alone, but out of understanding that resistance was useless. Harlan's voice filled the chamber once more, calm and final. The galaxy has been given a choice. Survival requires compliance. Humanity enforces precision, intelligence, and order. Remember this day. Humanity's return does not threaten life, it ensures it. Those who understand will live. Those who resist will vanish. The council fell silent, absorbing the enormity of the moment. For centuries, humans had been myths, legends of warships that could vaporize fleets and civilizations alike. Now, those legends were real. The humans had returned, and they did not bargain, negotiate, or negotiate. They enforced. Terrell whispered, almost to himself. I never imagined this. One ship, controlling everything. Varen placed a hand on his shoulder. We cannot imagine it. But we must respect it. Humanity has returned to the galaxy not to destroy, but to restore order. That is their power, and now, it is our reality. Outside, the black warship hovered silently, drones patrolling, systems controlled, fleets neutralized. The council understood it fully. The age of chaos had ended. Humanity had returned, not as conquerors, but as arbiters of the galaxy. And in that moment, every species, every fleet, every system realized the truth. The humans were back. They were precise, unstoppable, and inevitable. The galaxy would never be the same again. The peace talks were over. The lesson had been delivered. The humans did not negotiate, they enforced. And the stars themselves would now remember the day humanity returned.